Welcome, Slayer players, to the second installment of my DooM map reviews, where I will be reviewing custom maps of the games that use the classic DooM game engine. It is time to go over an old favorite map from Ultimate Doom, the third map of the first episode, Knee Deep in the Dead, Toxin Refinery. It seems to be one of the community's favorite classics. Starts as a fork split map layout where the main objective is to get one key on the left side, including an optional second key that leads to secrets, then reach the exit on the other side. For its time, it's an interesting concept, but to take it a step further, it adds teasers for items you may want to get, and adds additional objectives and interesting ways to access secrets, to then have a way to get to a secret exit leading to a secret level by unlocking other secret areas beforehand. Even though the style is straightforward, that's what is to expect from a game almost 3 decades old. So when we have communities making remakes with community-created tools, making level creation easier, and with people who have been exposed to modern level design, you would expect the community to take it a step further if they want to recreate these levels with the same engine. And that's what we are going to look at to see and review 3 remakes of Toxin Refinery that I know of in this video. Hope all you Slayer players enjoy. The first remake we are going to look at is one made by a familiar mapper that I have mentioned before, and it is one made by Dutch Devil. This map remake requires Doom 2 to run, and it is set as map 1. The main objective, pathfinding for this map, is essentially the same as the original. It is when you start the map, you notice the style of the architecture that the map has throughout the whole level. It's the nice, balanced detail that you would be seeing in a fan-made Doom maps, with careful bordering and room connecting, which is what you usually see with maps made by Dutch Devil. It is especially the texture style and choice of colors used throughout the interior areas of the map that make it very appealing. The difficulty is definitely a level above the original. At the start, instead of the demons starting from the sides, they spawn from places at the start. Even enemies that appear from trapdoors to catch the player off guard. Even more enemies get spawned in when backtracking, adding to the challenge and game time. The only thing that makes it a bit easier is finding some of the secrets. They are right next to the noticeable locations when they are triggered, but only in the smaller areas. Which, yeah, some areas are a bit smaller than the original, but it does not ruin the aesthetics of the map. To conclude, this Dutch Devil remake is a fresh breeze to play through. How does it fare to the original? Well, if people that made a map had the same quality, detail, and flow of an original classic Doom map, it would fall into a C grade category. So the original Toxin Refinery would get a C grade. This map is definitely a step further. The detail and style, as well as the combat and traps, give this map an A- grade or a B+ grade. So far we are at a good start. On to the next Toxin Refinery Remake. Will it be better than Dutch Devil's version? Well, let's find out. This is the KDiZD DooM remake of Toxin Refinery. And since KDiZD DooM was a community project, KDiZD for short, this map had two primary mappers, NMN and a mapper that I have mentioned before, Vader, who made great maps that I mentioned in the Z-Pack. It also had one secondary mapper and three tertiary mappers, probably for them to add some small and unnecessary details like this recession on the floor. Anyway, when you first play the level, you usually take the original path at the start, only to first notice you can immediately enter the middle path which wasn't accessible in the original map. The detail with the remake isn't bad. It does add some new rooms in between well-known locations, like this new generator area before entering the well-known circular bridge area, which is where the name Toxin Refinery should be based on. Speaking of which, it does look like a step above the original, while also enlarging its size, which is one of the main concepts for KDiZD DooM. The level even does add some unique trap rooms, like fighting strong melee noble enemies that take a while to kill with your base weapons right after you grab one of the main keys. It also has an interesting design and security camera concepts, usually in the computer area where you are supposed to get the yellow key. Getting to the secrets also has its own unique mechanics, even adding some realistic designs to key areas. However, the flow of the level changes when you reach the other side of the level, which should lead to the original exit, telling the player to activate a generator in the new underground mining section of the level, which I am guessing was made to add gameplay to the level. However, at that point, it becomes a completely different map rather than a Toxin Refinery remake. Which that is what KDiZD is mostly about, adding new areas rather than remaking the original areas. The underground section does have an interesting design and would be good as its own level. At first I liked it. However, as an add-on to the main Toxin Refinery, it seems out of place, which is a shame because this underground section would look good as an original map. But I will say this, the pathfinding and progression does get confusing in the underground area, regardless if you wish to get to the normal exit or secret exit, because you will have to find certain locations required to progress, and even players who have played it before a while ago may not know where the location is. You will have to access a room only accessible through the cave areas. Then you will have to remember the door that leads to the generator room. Plus, if you want to get to the secret exit, you have to not only open a secret wall, but also get all 6 different colored keys, which some also require finding secrets to get them. Still, the combat and gameplay does give it a good vibe. If the underground area was by itself, it would get an A grade. The action also makes it good, however the design, with some inconsistent and messy layouts and pathfinding, would put the KDiZD Remake of Toxin Refinery at an A-. Now last but not least, the third remake I will show in this video is an inspiration of the KDiZD Remake. So, an inspiration of an inspiration. Let's see how the remake by Guardsoul goes against the other two. Oh my freaking guardsman squad. This remake freaking rules. Spoiler alert, I am going to say this right now. This is the best remake of Toxin Refinery I have ever played. It definitely gives the KDiZD Remake a run for its money. Firstly, the design. Similar to Dutch Devil's remake, it retains and keeps a consistent style and mostly original pathfinding throughout the map. And when I say style, I do mean a very stylized scheme. Architecture and texture-wise, it is not only enlarged properly, it is even redesigned properly with realistic industrial detailing. The texture that is most used here, which some of us think is the ugliest metal texture, that texture style is getting some good love with this map. Visiting the newly expanded areas, even with the extra rooms in the secret areas, it does not take away the sense of direction like what Knee-Deep in DooM did. None of that unnecessary extra rooms to progress through to get to the main objective, which was a mistake in my part for the Eastern Dungeon remake that I did. The key area where Toxin Refinery gets its name, the outside area with the toxic pools, it is a blast. This time there is not just one large vat, but 2 of them, even with the proper 3D floor based swimmable liquid mechanic added to it for the vats and other areas as an obstacle. And also, like Knee-Deep in DooM, getting out of the toxic pools is possible, treating the player fairly. Every area is enlarged and redesigned specifically for balanced, complex combat and maneuverability, as well as the game time, because you may spend more time playing this map than you will the knee-deep in ZDoom version, especially in terms of finding all the secrets to then finish with getting the secret exit. So much game time that you may spend over 5 minutes in a single section because of the deep and complex gameplay. Oh, and speaking of enlargement, there are some doors you may not go through, which simulates realism with the map by having different ways making the player think what facility you are in before the demons arrived in this UAC facility, giving it some deep thought. Even working your way to the secret exit is satisfying, and the way the secret exit is placed makes sense. And one of the best things about this map, it is 100% moddable with the enemies and weapons. Want to blaze through this beauty with brutal Doom? Do it. Complex Doom? Go ahead. Hell Crusher paired up with Project Malice? Make it happen. So, to conclude, what grade would this map get? Obviously, it is above both of the previous versions, but how far though? Well, this map gets a grade higher than a AA+, and that grade is a AAA-. That is actually a very high grade for a remake. Go play it. I highly recommend it. Also, try the other remakes I mentioned if you like. Hope you Slayer players enjoyed this review episode. So to all of you good Slayer players out there, hope you had a great holiday, keep ripping and tearing demons, and have a great life.